Welcome to this channel. Mau belajar bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris dengan cara yang seru, santai, dan mudah dipahami? You're in the right place. Belajar kosakata dan ekspresi sehari-hari. Learn daily vocabulary and expressions. Dengarkan contoh situasi nyata. Listen to real-life examples. Subscribe sekarang dan nyalakan notifikasi. Let's learn together and have fun.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at some really interesting source material you sent over Indonesian language notes.
That's right. Lesson 15, A Trip to Indonesian Pharmacy, from an absolute beginner series.
And our mission really is to see what we can pull from this about, well, basic Indonesian for health needs, but also maybe some cultural stuff hidden in there.
Exactly. Because it's not just about vocabulary lists. What struck me right away, actually, is this hint of a cultural belief about why people get sick, beyond just the usual headache or stomachache.
Okay, yeah, that definitely caught my eye too. So let's dive into the main part, the pharmacy dialogue itself. Where does it kick off?
Well, it starts with the customer, Edie, being very polite. He says, Maaf, Bu, saya mau minta obat.
Which means?
Sorry, ma'am, I'd like some medicine. Excuse me. It's a nice, gentle opening.
And the boo, that's like, ma'am?
Precisely. It's that respectful address. Very common, very important in Indonesia. Shows respect for elders or service staff.
Right, sets a polite tone immediately. Okay, so what's the pharmacist's reply?
She's quite direct. Sakit apa?
What hurts? Simple as that.
Yep, no beating around the bush. And Edie answers, Sakit perut.
Boo. Okay, sakit is sick or hurts, and perut.
Perut is stomach. So I have a stomach ache, ma'am. A very clear, direct structure.
Makes sense. What happens next?
The pharmacist says, Sebentar dulu, ada di sini.
Let me guess. Just a moment.
You got it. Just a minute. It's here.
Yeah.
That sebentar dulu is a great little phrase. Kind of like, hold on a sec.
Useful. And it sounds like she finds the medicine quickly.
Yeah, it seems readily available. Sort of implies the pharmacy is the go-to spot for these common things.
Okay, so Edie gets his stomach medicine, but then he asks for something else.
He adds ada obat sakit kepala juga. Poo.
Okay. Obat must be medicine. And sakit kepala. Sick, head, headache.
Exactly. So do you also have headache medicine as well, ma'am? The juga there means also or to.
He's covering his bases.
Yeah.
Smart. How does the pharmacist respond to that?
Just one word. Mengapa.
Why? Huh. That's interesting. Is she being nosy or just clarifying?
Hard to say for sure from just the text, right? Could be simple curiosity or maybe checking if the two symptoms are related somehow.
Okay. And Edie's explanation.
He says, sakit kepala baru mulai adu.
Oh dear. So the headache is just starting out. That ado sounds pretty universal.
It really is, isn't
Yeah.
it? You immediately know that feeling. And that phrase baru mulai is key. Mulai is to begin.
And baru, does that mean new, like a new headache?
Well, yes, baru can mean new. But here, placed right before the word mulai, it means just or just started.
Ah, okay. So the position matters.
Definitely. The notes actually highlight this. They give another example. Saya baru makan.
Saya is eat. Makan is eat. So I just ate.
Spot on.
Right.
Baru right before the word makan. And one more. Tutti baru ke kereton.
Tutti just went to the keratin, the palace.
Exactly. That placement signals immediacy. It's a neat grammatical point.
Got it. Okay, so let's step back a bit. The notes talk about the general way to say you're sick.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The basic structure is socket followed by the body part.
Like we saw. Sakit kepala for headache, sakit perut for stomach.
And they add Sakit gigi is tooth, so toothache.
Yeah.
Sakit punggung.
Pungu, backache.
You got it. Backache.
Yeah.
See? Very logical, very efficient.
It really is. Are there other examples?
Yeah, a couple of sample sentences.
Okay.
Gigi saya sakit.
My tooth hurts. Simple.
Oh, slightly more complex. Saya makan kebanyakan dan sekarang perut saya sakit.
Okay, saya makan, I ate kebanyakan, too much.
Yep, kebanyakan is too much and sekarang.
Now.
Right, so I ate too much and now my stomach hurts. A feeling many of us know well.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other useful vocab in those examples?
A few good ones. K-pack.
Sounds like tired.
It is.
Those-
Aduh, saya K-pack.
Oh no, I'm tired.
Then there's penuh.
Cool, like perut saya sudah penuh, my stomach is already full.
Perfect. And we saw kebanyakan is too much. There's also besar.
Big, like kepalanya besar. His or her head is big.
And a practical one. Kenakan helm untuk melindungi kepalamu.
Okay, helm is helmet. Melindungi, protect.
Yes. Wear a helmet to protect your head. Kenakan is wear and untuk is to. Good safety advice tucked in there.
Nice. Okay, but now for that cultural thing you mentioned earlier, masuk angin.
Ah, yes. This is fascinating. Masuk angin literally translates to something like wind enters or enter wind.
Wind enters. What does that mean?
Well, according to the notes, it's treated as a common, recognized ailment in Indonesia, sort of like how we might talk about catching a cold.
So, what are the symptoms of getting wind inside you?
It sounds quite general, actually. Things like a stuffy nose, maybe a bit of a fever, feeling lethargic, just generally unwell. You know, similar to a mild cold or flu, perhaps.
But the cause is believed to be wind, not germs.
That seems to be the traditional understanding highlighted here. It's a different framework, isn't it? Focusing on an environmental element. The wind is the cause of this discomfort.
Wow. Does this belief affect daily life?
Apparently so, especially with babies. The notes mention it's quite common to see infants bundled up warmly.
Even though Indonesia is hot.
Right, even in the tropical climate. The idea is to protect them from this masuk angin because they're seen as more vulnerable to it.
That's a really concrete example of a cultural belief shaping behavior.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And importantly, the notes stress that this concept exists alongside the understanding of regular headaches, stomach aches, and so on. It's not like they don't recognize those.
So it's an additional layer, another possible explanation for feeling unwell.
That's how it seems to be presented, yeah. An extra dimension to understanding health, rooted in cultural tradition and maybe observations about the environment.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, we've got some practical phrases for the pharmacy being polite, asking for medicine, saying what hurts.
Right. Using marif, be, minta oat, sakit, plus the body part. Pretty useful stuff.
And we learned about baru, meaning just.
That handy grammar point.
Plus, we got this really intriguing insight into masuk angin.
Yeah, that wind illness concept, it definitely gives you a window into a different cultural perspective on health and well-being.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, how different cultures explain these everyday feelings of discomfort. What does it reveal about how we see the connection between, I don't know, our bodies, our traditions, the environment around us?
That's a great question, and it leads to another thought. Are there similar kinds of invisible or culturally specific ailments talked about commonly in other places? Maybe things attributed to drafts or damp, or even emotions in other cultures, you know.
Definitely something interesting to ponder. Well, this has been a fascinating look into just one language lesson. Thanks for joining this deep dive.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.